we would like to proceed towards our corporate presentation. And the topic is Sustainable Packaging Solution for the F&B Industry. And for the presentation, I would like to call on stage, please put your hands together for Mr. Vikas Swaroop, National Sales Manager from ITC. Let's give him a huge round of applause.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having us here. My name is Vikas Swaroop. I head the domestic sales for ITC's paper business. I'm joined here by my colleague Shashi Bhushan, who heads the business in North. I also have colleagues, Tamanna, she is behind. We have a small stall outside, which basically covers what we do on plastic substitution. Very interesting discussion in the morning, a lot of passionate comments, I would say, from both sides. And I would say that overall, in the scheme of things today, I think none of us is talking about removing plastics. Plastic is a good material. It's all about, I think, what we typically say in our system internally is that reduce and eliminate plastic wherever possible and use where it's essential. There are categories where you can't live without plastic. So from a competing industry, I would not say, I think they have to coexist. It's all about making our environment more friendly overall, making things which are more sustainable in the long term, and finding solutions which help all of us. So with this, I have a very small presentation. I'll tell you briefly about, we'll not get into a debate on why it's important. We all have, I think, last decade or so, we know why sustainability is important, how our environment is getting impacted. So these are things which are clear to all of us. We'll get into what ITC is, a few slides on how the corporate business, what we have, and then we get into the specifics of what the paper business of ITC is doing on, particularly on plastic substitution. So just to briefly tell you about ITC, I mean, you all know it's a 110-year-old organization in the country, close to $10 billion of turnover, covering all the businesses. As a corporate, we run some 13 different businesses as part of the group. Cigarette, of course, being the oldest. Then we are into hotels. We are into packaging. We are into paper boards. We have a lot of agri-commodities, which we consume within our businesses, foods and other products, and also export a lot of agri-commodities. Then we have a large leaf tobacco business where we process tobacco, we export to various countries globally. Plus, we also sell to domestic cigarette manufacturing companies. So if you look at the evolution of ITC in last decade or so, we have been moving into different directions. A lot has been done on the FMCG side. So if you see today in the retail stores, a lot of brands from ITC are present there. We have Ashirwad, we have Sunfeast, we have AP Noodles. And the category is expanding. We are doing a lot of work on the hotel side. But there are some businesses within ITC which are very old. I could say these are heritage businesses within ITC. We are one of them. So this business of ITC, which I represent, started in 1977-78. We have done close to 4 decades of business, and a lot of evolution has happened in the process of last these many years. So if you look at ITC, these are the different verticals what we have. We have paper boards and specialty papers, which we represent here. We have a small IT business as part of the group. We have packaging. We have our own packaging plant in Tiruvuttur. We have one in Haridwar, and then we have a new facility coming up in Nadia, then close to Ahmedabad. And then we have a large hotels business and FMCG as part of the group. So specific to the business which we represent here, paperboards and specialty papers, it's about 4 decades in existence. We started in a place called Bhadrachalam, which is a very remote place in current Telangana state. The reason we went there was what you need for paper making, you need pulp, for which you need wood close by, and you need a lot of water, and you need coal. So if you look at the location, we are pretty close to the coal mines. We have water very close to us. Godavari River is 7-8 kilometers from the factory. And then we have a lot of plantation, which ITC has created over a period. So that's how we started. So from a single machine in 1977-78, we run 7 machines there in Bhadrachalam today. In a way, it's one of the largest integrated site, single site, I would say, not only in India, globally, making the world-class paper boards and papers what we make there. And over a period, we also expanded. We have a plant in south, further down, in a place called Kovai, which is close to Ooty, foothills of Ooty, where we make the recycle boards. And then we have a specialty paper plant in West Bengal, a place called Tribeni, where we make various thin papers. So a lot of it is going for food packaging today. Papers going for wrapping application, papers going for carry bags. We also make papers for decorative laminates. It's a very specialty plant, some 30,000-40,000 tons per annum kind of capacity. These are the 3 units which we talked about. So we have Bhadrachalam, which is the largest as part of the group. We have Kovai, which is making only the recycled boards. And then we have Tribeni, which is making only the specialty paper boards. So in all, we are close to about 1 million tons of paper and paper boards, the largest producer in the country. And we have a very strong repute overseas as well. So ITC, as a group, especially on the paper side, we have been exporting to various countries globally for last 2 decades. And we have clients in Europe, in UK, in North America, in Australia, New Zealand, all the evolved economies, I'll say, and very strong linkages. We have been 70 to 80% or even 100% consumption side of many consumers. So that's the kind of dependence they have on ITC. What makes us different there as compared to the rest of the Asian mills, I would say not only Indians, we are very strong on the sustainability side as a group overall. Our products are very, very superior. I would say some of the grades we make are competing with the best in the world. So you hear of mills like Mesa, Sarla, you hear of mills like Igisa and Stora Enzo. Our products compete with some of these mills in the world, and we have established clients who have been using grades of ITC for many long years. And then we have credentials like FSC, which is today very, very critical. Most of the large brands today either are in the process of migrating to FSC or they have commitments where next 4 to 5 years, they would have all the packaging coming with the FSC kind of certification. So we have these credentials and the quality which helps us reach out to the international markets. These are some of the end users what we have. So we kind of cut across all the end use segments. We have presence in food packaging. We are large in FMCG. We are large in liquid packaging. We are into other stationery items. We are into consumer products. We are into alcoholic beverages. So all across the segments, wherever it kind of touches base with the consumers, we are present. And one difference I would say in our sales approach has been over a period of last 2-3 decades, our linkages are directly with the brands. So when we talk about most of these companies here, we are in direct touch with them. So we have a distribution system which takes care of the sales process. But when it comes to engaging with the consumers, talking to them about the products, sharing the attributes, working on the developments, it's all direct. So that's where it kind of differentiates ITC as compared to other mills in the country. I'll come specifically to sustainability. So there's something which has been at the core of ITC business. So, like I said in the beginning, today we all talk about sustainability. I think it's a theme of the day. As much as we believe in it, a lot of it is coming also from the compulsions because the media wants you to talk about sustainability. Your shareholders want you to talk about sustainability. And businesses would like companies to do more and more as far as this aspect is concerned. But when it comes to ITC, I think we have been very passionate about sustainability, not in last 7-8 years, I would say at least for last 20 years. So we are the only company of our size in the country today which has been printing a document which is called the Sustainability Report for last 15 to 20 years. And this document is a third-party audited document which goes into details of what ITC does on sustainability across businesses. And we have a separate team which only delivers on this area. So they have no business targets, they have no sales metrics to follow. Their job is only sustainability day in and day out. And these are the guys who work across different business of ITC. We have different programs which go in various locations. We've got 100+ locations as part of different businesses. We have sites in Munger, we have sites in Saharanpur, we have sites in Rudrapur. So these are special units which work with the local managements in these various units and work on sustainability programs of ITC. And this document goes into details of what we do in each and every of these areas. So I would share a link with you. You could go to ITC's website and download it. It's a thick document. And we have been doing it for more than a decade today. So that kind of shows ITC's commitment to sustainability for a longer span than what the industry is talking about. There are some numbers which are part of it. So we do a massive plantations program. So if you look at the data here, there's something which is, again, very unique to our business. See, in pulp and paper industry, I think your strength comes from the raw material, like any other industry. And you have a choice either to import fibers from North America, Scandinavia, Northern Europe, or you have the choice to grow it yourself. So there are some species which you cannot grow in India because of the climatic conditions here. We are a tropical climate. Some kind of pulps you can't generate in India. But whatever you can, the effort is to kind of maximize in-house production here. So we started with a plantations program. If you look at 1992 to 2022, that's the kind of coverage we have done in terms of area covered under plantations. And the approach is very simple here. The forest policy of India doesn't allow the corporates to own land. We cannot own land for the purpose of plantation. So what we do here is we work with the farmers, very marginal farmers, people who are owning very, very small areas. So we form kind of aggregate committees of these farmers who come together, and we work with them. There are families who have worked with us for 3 generations, 4 generations as part of this business. They do production for us, various species of wood, whether it's eucalyptus, subabul, casuarina, and they kind of supply to ITC. Now, the catch here is we have worked with them for all these years. We have done a lot of work in terms of special clones of various species, which are drought resistance, which are resistant to the extreme climatic conditions, which are fast-growing species. So if it takes 7 years for a tree to get ready, when you can harvest it for making wood pulp, we have done work where it is ready in 4 years, 4.5, 5 years. All these benefits go to the farmers who are in our areas. We call something as core area, which is Telangana, Andhra. Then we reach out to Karnataka, we reach out to parts of Chhattisgarh, Odisha. But these farmers have no obligation to sell it only to ITC. Okay, so it's a surplus which we create for the industry. Today the farmer is free to supply to ITC. He can supply to any other paper mill as well. If the country policy allowed them to export, they could export as well. And then a lot of furniture industries coming up in India. You have MDF plants coming up, you have laminate plants coming up. So they also source from them. So our philosophy has been to create the surplus for the industry so that kind of it is available to all of us. And we still continue to invest in it. So our targets on this are very, very steep for the next 4 to 5 years. Some data on what we emit as a business on carbon and what we sequester. So if you look at it, our emissions are at about 2033, close to 2 million kgs of carbon dioxide, where our sequestration is 3 times of it. That's something which is very unique, very passionately followed within ITC. So if you look at our chairman, our various forums where we talk about this, is something which I think goes deep into our DNA, and we all follow it very, very closely. A bit about it. So FSC today stands for Forest Stewardship Certificate. So this is a gold standard. I mean, if you are a packaging user, if you are a brand owner, once you have the product which comes with the FSC logo, it kind of goes with that certificate that you have done all the right things when you are buying your packaging. It basically means you are buying your pulp from sustainably managed forest. Why this topic is coming up, if you look at the Southeast Asian countries, mostly look at countries like, say, Indonesia, look at large lands in China, over a period, a lot of rainforests have got destroyed in some of these countries. Areas which are not supposed to be kind of used for pulp wood have been taken away. So there is a lot of concern, especially in the Western market. So when you are exporting your products to Europe, you are exporting to US, they would like this seal to be there on the pack for you to kind of supply to these geographies. So FSC stands for the gold standard in sustainability management of forest, and we follow this. So today when we talk about the hectares we have covered in Bhadrachalam and around areas, almost 100% of that plantation is covered under FSC chain of custody. Okay, so large consumers within ITC, we talk about Tetra Pak, we talk about Hindustan Unilever, we talk about Colgate. They are the ones who are kind of driving this initiative. They want more and more supplies to come with the FSC certification, because that's kind of reflecting on their commitment on the environment side, because they all make commitments that by 2025 will reach there, 2030 will reach there. Just a very number on the share of sustainable energy in our business. We are at a 44% number, which is ahead of many large global corporates. Okay, even if you talk about companies in Europe, US and all, while everybody talks about it, I think we should be proud of the fact that India is miles ahead in the real journey on sustainability. We as corporates, as packaging companies, as producers are doing a lot of work which is kind of taking us ahead as compared to the rest of the world. So this is the number, 44%. Our target is to reach 50% in next 5 to 6 years. Again, something on what we do in terms of water harvesting. I'll skip this. We have a program, very interesting one. We call it WOW, Wellbeing Out of Waste. This is again something which we started some 10 years ago. So what we do here is we collect waste, okay, through different agencies. We reach out to corporates. We'll come to your offices. We'll go to schools, because kids are the one you have to teach them the basics for them to kind of become more responsible citizens as they grow. So we go and talk to them about recyclability, about circularity, educate them at the basic level, and give them these concepts. And then we go to various institutions to tell them about the importance of it. Instead of that paper going into a landfill, why not we pull it back and take it back for recycling? So we have agencies who work with us, various NGOs. They collect this paper, and they also collect plastic waste because ITC is a large corporate. We have a lot of plastic consumption as well. So they cover this entire spectrum of materials, whether it's plastic, paper, laminates, and they bring it back to us. So wherever plastic has to go for recycling, we supply to the concerned vendors. Wherever it's paper, if it can come to our plants, we bring it to our plants, but you can't move waste paper from north up to Bhadrachalam. So we end up selling it to the mills in north. They consume it for recycling at their end. So we talked a lot about it. As I said initially, we are not here to kind of replace. That's not the agenda. The agenda is to kind of coexist, benefit as much as we can to the environment, to the producers, to the brand owners. So we have been working on various solutions where we can replace single-use plastics. I would say, generally we are saying plastic, that's not the right approach. I would say single-use plastic is the focus for all of us, where it kind of causes litter, it kind of causes problems. You can't take it back, you can't recycle it. I think that's the core agenda here. So I'll share with you some products where we have done some work. So if you look at ITC, the paperboard business, we have barrier products. Some of the categories, again, we have been present for more than a decade. So if you talk about the LDP coated paperboards, which came for paper cups and various frozen packaging, we started all this in mid-2000. So 2004-05 is when we invested in this. But then over a period, there has been a lot of discussion on even if that can be removed as well, because even a paper cup with LDP contains about, if you have 150 GSM paper, about 10-15% of plastic is there. And there the real challenge lies because you can't take it back. Okay, even if we take it back to a mill, most of the mill in country do not have the wherewithal to recycle. They are not in a position to separate the plastic and take away the paper and recycle. So typically it goes into landfill. So you're not only taking plastic to the landfill, you're also wasting a lot of paper which could have come back for a more meaningful usage back to the industry. So we have these grades here we call a Philo series. So Philo series basically, there's something which is, I think, the talk of the town today, whether it's India or abroad. Most of the companies today are talking about emulsion coated paperboards, paper solutions. And you're talking about, again, when we say, does it eliminate plastic completely? It doesn't, but brings plastic to almost insignificant levels. Okay, so if you are 15 grams of plastic over 300 GSM and you bring it down to 0.5, that's a big change you have made. So I personally believe, I would not say it's a company one. I would draw a parallel with what happened in time of demonetization in the country. So what did our government say? Government said we're moving from abundant cash to less cash and then to cashless. Same, I think, applies here as well. So you're looking at more plastic, reduce it. Plastic free, I don't think it's possible. To the extent required, we'll have to continue using it. So we have the Philo series, which is basically the emulsion coated paperboards. This is a trend which is being followed all across. And then Omega grades, which are basically with one of the panel members were talking about corn, starch and all. So these are products which are coated with biopolymers. So just to give you a perspective on biopolymers, these are basically polymers which are made from biomaterial. It is made from corn, from starch, from cellulose items. It's been there in the industry for the last 15 years. Okay, so if you look at some countries which have been aggressively following this, I would say US will come as number one. They have been talking about PLA coated paperboards for a long, long time. The real challenge is that there is also a strong lobby which says when a lot of population in the world doesn't have food to eat, how can you allow food products to get consumed for making the barrier coatings? That's one point which goes against it. Second, because the adoption has been low, the costs have been very, very prohibitive. So if you talk about a PLA-coated paperboard, we make a lot of it. And we spoke in the morning about the challenges on economies. The real challenge comes there because your raw material is so expensive. And then you're importing it all the way from US into India, the cost of ocean freight and everything else. It is not really making sense economically. And the real challenge on the circularity part is when you make a product which is with biopolymers, the idea is compostability, but if you have to choose between composting it or retrieving the fiber part of it and bringing it back to recycling, I think the option 2 is always better because you're always short on natural resources. So why should I allow so many tons of compostable paperboards to go into landfill because it's compostable friendly today? I'll rather bring it back and recycle it in my pulp making process. So we have the product. If consumers want it, we have the entire range. We have the is still the LDP coated paper boards with us, which goes for paper cups, ice cream packs, and everything. We have the Philo series, which is the emulsion coated, which is the in thing right now. I think globally everybody's talking about it. And then we have the Omega series, which is with the biopolymers. These are some other grades. These are paper grades. So if you see some of the burger wraps, sandwich wraps, we have papers which we make for these. Papers which can be used for wrapping rotis while your kid is going to school, stuff like that. And then we have some other papers which are not exactly on the food side. We have a antifungal series, which is basically, again, replacing paper or replacing plastic. Basically, it's talking about lesser consumption. So if you look at the Dove soap carton today, right, it's a very sensitive soap item. So what they used to have earlier was a flow wrap which will carry the soap cake inside, and then that pouch goes into the carton. But they wanted to eliminate the pouch part of it. So we have worked with HUL on this for many years, closely worked, like I talked about initially, about working with the brands. And we developed this product which comes with the antifungal coating. So there is no need for you to have a flow wrap inside. The soap cake can directly get inside the carton, and it allows you resistance to any mold or fungus growth over a period. So these are the grades I covered in detail. So Philobev is what goes for paper cups today. When you travel Indigo, the cups you see there are made on this product today, which do not have plastic, which are free from LDP and even the biopolymer coatings. These are emulsion coatings, which are far lower in terms of content used in a particular product packaging. This Philo tub, you walk into PVR, walk into Inox today, pick up a tub of popcorn, that's made on this product. Okay, so there again, if you look at the conventional pack, it used to have a LDP coating inside, 15-20 GSM. From there, it is below 1 GSM today. So that's the direction. So we're talking about reducing the reuse of it instead of completely eliminating it. This is a very popular product today. A lot of brands are kind of talking about it and discussing with us about adoption. This Philo pack, which is again a barrier board, a lot of it gets used for ice cream packs today. So the Quality Walls ice cream, when you see in the market today, is on this product, which used to be again on a LDP extruded paper board earlier. The advantage with paper is, one, it protects the product inside, gives you all the required properties. Second, I think as a brand owner, the communication on paper is always superior. So nothing against plastic or glass or metal, but the kind of print results you can get on paper today in the conventional offset machines or any printing technology, your communication is very, very strong. The images will get reproduced as you want them, without any distortion. The messaging is very, very strong. So it's more than carrying the product. I think it's a great marketing media as well for the brand owners. PhiloServe, we have great success on this product in the international market. We export a lot of it to Europe, to USA. These are basically products with moderate kit values. So if you have something like an apple pie, choco pie, you have sandwiches which are low on grease, low on oil, but they have the tendency to leave a stain on the packaging which the consumers don't like. This kind of product will have acceptance for this end use. Omega series we talked about. So if you look at the cups in Starbucks today, they are on this product because the Starbucks USA mandates it. These are with biopolymers, the Omega series of ITC. And this has been there with us for a long, long time. But directionally, what we are seeing is this product will continue to exist, but we are going to see more traction on the emulsion coated paper boards where the industry is kind of more interested today. This is again a biopolymer, but typically there are two kinds of biopolymers being used today. One is the PLA, which is the old conventional one. Second is the PBS, okay, which has caught the fancy in last 5, 7, 10 years, I would say. The difference is PLA is mostly sourced from North America. PBS, you have suppliers in Asia as well. On the supply chain side, I think the comfort level on PLA has been lower than PBS. So there is a choice here again, but in terms of performance, both perform equally well when it talks about consumer experience. But the sources are different for both these products. Okay, this 1 or 2 slides left. So these are papers which we talked about typically for wrapping applications. So a lot of variety can be kind of explored with this for wrapping food products, for wrapping other applications. So that's broadly from us. So this is basically the entire canvas of brands what we have, which are looking at substituting plastics. Even other brands are part of it. So that's from our side. I mean, we have a brief, I would say, small stall outside. So we have a team here. Any of you want to interact further with us, we have people who can help you out. Or please leave your card. We'll be more than happy to kind of touch base with you and take it forward. Any questions right now, I'm here to answer. Hi. Yes.
These emulsion-coated papers which you talked about, are they repulpable? Are they recyclable? Because emulsion is also acrylic polymer.
Yes. See, they are recyclable. So we have been talking about 2-3 things. We are talking about compostability, we are talking about recyclability, and then we are talking about plastic-free. I think in the scheme of things today, plastic-free takes a back seat. Okay, as long as you can bring it back to a pulping stream, process it, and recover most of the fiber out of it, I think a job well done. So to answer you, these are recyclable. Yeah. Sorry, come again? Yeah. So polylactic acid, what happens here is you can form a layer of polylactic acid very similar to the LDP layer. Okay, so in terms of appearance, it's so much similar to LDP that you have a cup which is made with LDP extrusion and you have another cup which is made with PLA extrusion. You cannot really differentiate. This is another challenge because many governments, if you see, go to South, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they kind of mandated PLA usage only for last 8 to 10 months. But when you go to a store, it's very, very difficult for even the inspector to kind of differentiate if the coating is LDP or it's a PLA. The only difference is that the sources are, while LDP comes from the fossil fuel, this will come from cornstarch or cellulose. That's the only difference. Yeah. If nothing else, thanks a lot for patience. And we have a stall outside. I'll request all of you to please spend some time there. Any questions, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Sir. So, thank you so much, Mr. Vikas, for this wonderful and amazing presentation. And to felicitate Mr. Vikas, I would like to call Dr. Naveen Danda, Director from JSBS Food Private Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for sir?